I know I talk about this a lot, but part of your relationship with money is your own emotions, reactions, thoughts about money. And whether it's money or something else, the process is kind of the same of tweaking those thoughts. And it's so beautiful once you get the hang of it because you realize how much control you actually have over your thoughts.
Hey there, and welcome to Money and You. I'm Michelle Perkins, your host. My search for more fulfilling work led me to career and business coaching, where I stumbled upon a game-changing discovery. Money issues often start with our mindset and habits. You see, our relationship with money is the key to overcoming those frustrating financial obstacles. As an entrepreneur, coach, and problem solver, I'm passionate about helping you create a great relationship with money. Because, turns out, that's the foundation for a limit-free life. Each week on Money and You, I speak with amazing guests about all things money, mindset, practical tips, and everything in between. We're here to give you new insights, education, and empowerment so money can be one of your favorite relationships. So join us for some lively conversations and let's transform your financial life together.
Hello, and welcome to the Money and You Show, another episode. It's just me today doing a solo show, and it's going to be relatively quick, but I think very apropos. So I hope you'll listen in and get something out of this show today, because this is all about you and how you can transform the time that we're having right now, especially if you are feeling some fear, some doubt, some sadness, maybe about the election. I know it's been a tough week. It was tough for me. It's tough for a lot of people. And so I had to find solutions because that's kind of where I go. So first I had to just be still. I didn't talk to many people. I didn't look at anything news-wise. And through that stillness, came, it was almost a sort of grief, but through that, it came some ideas and some ways to cope, ways to help, ways to help myself. And so, whatever your situation is, this all applies to anything that may cause you grief. That could be a job loss, that could be the breakup of a relationship, and that can certainly be something going on in your money life. So, there are many, many things that can happen financially that feel devastating, they put you in a state of fear or doubt, uncertainty. This happens a lot with money. It's kind of why money sometimes is scary for people, and people avoid it, and people, sort of have a negative feeling about money, because money can be both wonderful and can be an ally and a support in your life. It can also create a lot of stress. And that's a lot of why I like doing the show. A big part of it is to educate you, to help you understand yourself with money, because that's really the key to everything, which we're going to talk more about today for sure. But also, just so that you can move forward in a positive way. So today is also, it's Veterans Day. So thank you to our veterans and service people out there for your service. And, past and present, veterans play a huge role in the protection and safety of our world. And so many thanks to you all. And it's also 11/11, which is an interesting numerical sequence. So if you're into that kind of thing at all, that bit of mysticism, the 11/11 stands for manifestation, powerful manifestation. So it is a good day, or time, or whatever, wherever you sit. Today happens to be 11/11, the day. And so it's when manifestation powers are really strong. And I kind of love that because I feel that's where we are right now. There's only so much we can do in so many aspects of our lives. And I think that really became very apparent and really highlighted itself during the election cycle. And so we can do all kinds of things, and many did to push one agenda or another. But in the end, you're left with yourself, and you have only so much control over the external factors in the outside world and other people. So that's where this stillness that I talked about allows you to sort of elevate into a space where you can go into your mindset. You can go into controlling your thoughts. You can go into controlling your fear and your doubt and your sense of, uncertainty. And 11/11 is a great day to put some effort into putting out into the universe what you really want. And I think it's just, I'm so happy that the show is recording today, because I feel that it's an important day to take advantage of. So however you're feeling, you manifest really well in a high frequency. But if you're not in that high frequency, that high vibration of joy and love and all kinds of good feelings, the act of focusing on what you want, of imagining better things, better days, better events, better people, if you put yourself into your vision of what you want, you will almost instantly raise your vibration. And if it's not raised enough, you can be grateful, and that will raise it further. You can think about people you love, places you love, all kind of activities you love, and imagine yourself being there, doing those things, enjoying something, living that dream that you have, being in, active and successful in your goals. These kinds of thoughts start to raise your vibration, put you in a better frequency, which gives you much more ability to successfully manifest. And on a day like today, it is a big day for those manifestation powers to kind of expand. So, if you don't really understand manifestation, you may understand prayer, you may understand opening yourself up to the infinite universe and all of what it can bestow upon you, because that is really something that goes so far beyond our own thinking. So often I've put out there a vision of what I want, not having any idea of how that could come about. I didn't know the steps or, how it was going to take place. And that's the beauty of this kind of visioning. You put the vision out there of what you want. You try to give it as much specificity as you can, imagining, details of it. And then you put it out there, and you see how it happens for you. And it might be not in the time you expect. It might not look like what you thought it was going to look like, but it's quite remarkable how things show up when you do this. So I didn't know anything about this for a long time. And then when I started studying and learning from all kinds of masters of manifestation, it became so apparent that it is A, available to everyone, and B, it truly works. And so, and sometimes it's planting a seed for something. It's not putting it directly in front of you, but it is getting the wheels in motion for it to ultimately manifest in your life. So I feel like now is a very good time to switch our focus away from what we might feel is wrong with the world or is frightening about the world right now, and switch into just a very narrow, focused, intention setting period. And, I think it's a beautiful thing that it does give us an action we can take. It's not a typical action. It's something kind of different. But this is where we can go right now. And I'm saying right now because we're just off the heels of such a major event, but this is what we should be doing all the time. It has really very little to do with now. I'm just providing it as a solution for some of the feelings people may be having. And if there is a sense perhaps of hopelessness or, or worry, then this is a wonderful place to put your mind. And I know I talk about this a lot, but part of your relationship with money is your emotions, reactions, thoughts about money. And whether it's money or something else, the process is kind of the same, of tweaking those thoughts. And it's so beautiful once you get the hang of it, because you realize how much control you actually have over your thoughts. And I know at times it feels like you have no control over your thoughts. You just go into, anger or sadness or whatever, and the ideas and the thoughts are just spinning in your mind, keeping you up at night, making you feel sick, all the stuff. And yet at some point, and you can move this along faster by what you think and what you do. Sometimes writing is a huge help. So however you can get yourself to rein in your thoughts and imprint new thoughts into your brain. And that doesn't mean you have to see something happening. You don't have to, there's a great line, which I won't be able to quote, in The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, where he talks about thinking about your truth regardless of appearances, meaning everything might look different out there, but your truth you can create in your mind and put that out as your truth, and it might be very different than what is appearing out there. So let's talk about money. What if your bank account and your investment portfolio and your debt, by all appearances, looks pretty bad or pretty daunting? So in your mind, you're telling yourself that everything is going downhill and everything is scary, and you have no idea how you're going to turn it around. These are the thoughts you're having potentially. That is when you can stop and you can envision what it is you want. You can literally imagine the debt going down, the savings going up, getting the raise, having some windfall of some kind, whatever it might be. And you can start, it sounds a little like a wish, but it's more directed than that. And so setting these intentions for what you want is incredibly important. And then when you have that intention, you have to hold on to it. You have to write it down. You have to look at it multiple times a day, because those other thoughts are going to come in. I mean, that's habit. The negative thoughts are habitual thoughts that are going to continue to come in, and you have to be the one who is controlling your mind, noticing those thoughts and replacing those thoughts, even if it doesn't feel natural, or you don't even fully believe it yourself. That's the process. And as you do that and you open yourself up to receiving, that's the other part of it. Sometimes we have a reluctance to receive for a number of different reasons. Sometimes it's about maybe not really feeling like you deserve it on some subconscious level, but there are many other reasons why we have sort of blocks against receiving. So you have to remind yourself too, that when you put that vision out there, when you start to see it coming to you, you have to be open to receiving. You can't deflect it. So these are all really kind of deep concepts, actually. And you can use them with anything. You can use them in relationships. You can use them with your health. You can use them in all kinds of areas. But if you start using them with your financial life, you will feel more in control as you see the evidence of things changing and coming into your life. Now, that doesn't mean you're not taking action as well. That doesn't mean you're sitting on the couch, visioning, doing nothing, not looking at your bank statements, not going out there and trying to earn more money, whatever it is. So it is a combination of taking action, but also putting your mind on the right track. Imagine just off-roading, and there's a road over here and there's a bunch of rocky dirt trails over here. It really is the difference between driving over here and driving over here. And so, putting yourself on that smooth, easy track is so much more, it's preferable, obviously. So that's kind of where I want you to think about, can you make this easier for yourself? Can you raise your vibration? Can you see more hope than fear? Can you see a path and a way forward? And even if you can't really see it, get on that road, get on that smoother road anyway, and just try it and see how it feels. Because sometimes we also get used to problems. I don't know how else to put it. We get used to being broke. We get used to having trouble paying bills. We get used to, feeling like we're not making enough. And as much as this is the weirdest part, I think, of the human brain, as much as we have wants and desires, and as much as we have things we don't want, we can get very comfortable with what we don't want. We can get comfortable being a victim. We can get comfortable being sad. We can get comfortable being in pain. We can get comfortable. And we're not thinking about it that way, right? We're thinking it is what it is and we can't do anything about it. Nobody in pain is thinking, oh, I'm choosing this. And you're not choosing it, but you are allowing sometimes its presence to exist in your life longer than it needs to. So this is where we can really take some control. And we're in for, some unexpected events. We have no idea how the future is going to be different. And there are a lot of changes coming. And there's nobody who can tell you, oh, the economy is going to be so much better or the economy is going to be so much worse. We can all guess based on our own beliefs and how we interpret the current events, but no one knows. And that I am 100% sure of. There's no expert out there who's going to be able to tell you exactly how this is going to play out economically in the world or, in your own home. So this is where when you can't control things, guess what? You can control you. And if you don't have a lot of practice with that, there are people who are great at helping. And this is important because when you learn this in one area, you can use it in all areas. So I'm going to tell you a little game that I'm playing in a group that I'm in. And I spend a lot of time in manifestation groups. It's funny because this year I've always been interested in it. I've always done it to an extent, but this year it's just like, it seems like mentor after mentor is just pushing me and others into that direction. And so I've learned a lot this year. And it just started out sort of naturally with a manifestation challenge that Gabby Bernstein put out there. And she's a favorite author of mine. And so I did that, and it's just been like a snowball of other groups and things coming at me to engage me in different manifestation processes, and it's really quite it's fun, and it's you learn a lot about yourself because you spend a lot of time thinking about how you think and where your mind goes in different scenarios and how to kind of recoup that better mindset. So here's a little game for you. It's quick and easy. So take a timer, and this is something that I just did in one of my groups. Take a timer, set it for 10 minutes, get a piece of paper, write down everything that you want. It can be in any area, anything you want for the next 10 minutes. So set a timer for 10 minutes, just do a whole brain dump on what you want in your life if for those 10 minutes, as much as you can write. After the 10 minutes, find 5 that you want to prioritize. There are going to be a lot of things on that list. Hopefully you were able to think of a lot of things you want. If you had trouble thinking of what you want, that's a really interesting thing. Don't get frustrated. Don't get mad at yourself. That means you're not taking a lot of time to get clear on what it is you want. Maybe you're working too hard. Maybe you're taking care of too many people. Maybe you're too busy and you're not stopping and taking that time to get clarity around what you want. But that's a really important thing. We can't get what we want if we can't ask specifically for what we want and know what we want. So that is a huge first step. So if you find you have trouble, great, you just learned something. You learned that you need to figure out what it is that you want the most. And then you will spend some time with that list, the big list of what you want, narrow it down to 5 priority items. So pick 5 out of your giant list, and then pick one that you're going to focus on right now. You're going to put so much focus on that this week. You're going to set an intention to bring that particular desire into your life. So you're going to write it on a piece of paper on the top, and then you're going to create evidence where you see little glimpses of it showing up. So say what you want is an extra $1,000 at the end of the month. Again, doesn't have to be money related, but I'm just going to use that for the sake of this show. Say you want an extra $1,000 at the end of this month. You don't know how it's going to come in, but you want it, and maybe you need it. And that's why it was like the top priority for right now. Then you're going to look at that every day. You're going to focus on it. You're going to remind yourself, I will be receiving, or I am receiving $1,000 before the end of the month. You're going to do some, affirmations, mantras, whatever it takes. See your bank account in your mind's eye with that $1,000 in it. See that balance bumping up. Imagine buying whatever it is that you wanted to buy with $1,000. Just go into that imaginary place where you're seeing this happen as if a movie is unfolding. And then every day, list any evidence that you see that is, that pops up. Things will pop up. So write down that evidence. Maybe, whatever it is that you wanted to buy with that $1,000 just went on sale and it's now $500. I don't know. That's evidence that the universe is starting to bring in whatever it is that you're asking for. So I'm going to leave you with that. It's a great game to play. You can play this every week. You have your big list. You've got a lot of things that you want. And so just play with seeing the evidence and then being grateful for the evidence, because the evidence will come. And that's really those are your little hints that this manifestation thing, this crazy topic is working. Because when you start seeing the evidence, when you're looking for it, how when you buy a blue car and suddenly everybody on the road has a blue car, you're seeing the things that you're noticing and thinking about right now. So if you're thinking about that extra $1,000, start seeing it, start looking for it, and start focusing on that coming into your life. Okay, so I hope that gives you a sense that you actually do have more control, because you have control over your thoughts, and your thoughts create things, and your thoughts are the most powerful, tool you have, really. So use them in your financial life, use them in other parts of your life. But remember, when things feel uncomfortable, you still have this mind of yours, and you can be very grateful for that, and you can put it to amazing good use. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.